Basically, Byron up there, he makes me look better with that suit on. Jacket. Make me feel better.
Well, the green would go with your shirt, so.
Play the role. There you go. I need all the help I can get. Did you eat tonight? Yes, I did.
Thank you.
We got chocolate too.
Yeah, I know.
Jenny? Oh, it is cold.
She's got you set up there.
All right, folks, we're going to call this May 24th commission meeting to order. At this point in time, we have the invocation. Is Pastor Spivey here?
Yeah, he's here.
I apologize, sir. Would you come up and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Holy Father, we thank you for all that you do, all that you bless us with, all that you bless those that we love with. God, for being so awesome and mighty and powerful. God, we just stand in awe of you because you are so awesome. God, for the blessings that you give to us, for your Son, Jesus Christ, for the blood that washes away our sin, we're thankful. God, for this country, for this community, for this state, for this wonderful family in which we're a part, that we live here in High Springs, Florida. We're thankful. God, for those who protect us and watch over us, those who lead us. We pray for your knowledge and wisdom on them, Lord. Help them to do so unselfishly, but looking to you and looking to serve others. Help us to be servants of others at all times. Help us to put others ahead of ourselves. Forgive us. Be with us always. Give us courage and strength each and every day. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Booth, before we do the approval of the agenda, you had a...
Yes, there's one item, item number 1 under new business. We need to take that off. The bids came in much larger than we thought. This is probably because the way we wrote it, we didn't want a gold-plated bathroom out there at the park, so we're going to go back for bids and reduce the requirements a little bit.
Okay. So we'll need to do roll call on this to change the agenda?
Yes, we just haven't done roll call for the meeting.
Yeah, why not do that too?
Mayor Jameson?
You think I ought to read this thing in order, don't you? I'm here, thank you.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Here.
Commissioner James?
Here.
Commissioner Lavin?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Yeah. At this point, after I did this, do I have an approval for the amended agenda?
I'll make such a motion.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second to amend the agenda. We're going to table new business item number 1. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. At this point in time, approval of the minutes. And this should say May 10th.
Yes.
The minutes are for May 10th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the May 10th commission meeting.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. At this point in time, we have a presentation. Commissioner Lavin has requested this, so I'm going to let her have the honors of presenting it. And if you would take care of that, Nancy?
I know the Women's Club has done so much for our community, but when I gathered information on about all of what they do for our community, I was absolutely blown away. So this is going to take me a couple of minutes. What is now a worldwide organization consisting of over 100,000 members, the General Federation of Women's Clubs formed in 1895. In 1899, High Springs Women's Club formed, and in 1900 they became the first club in Alachua County to become federated. The larger organization has been involved in helping America in so many ways. During the World War II, the organization sold enough war bonds to purchase 431 planes And after 9/11, the national organization purchased an ambulance to replace one lost in New York City. Our High Springs Club has a remarkable history of service in the community. Early on, they pushed and got the cows off Main Street by enacting the fence law. These women are a powerful force and have enriched our community in so many ways. High Springs is certainly a better community because we are fortunate enough not just to have a women's club, but this particular club who embraces all areas of our community with their quiet dedication. This certificate is a really small token because we could never adequately express how much we appreciate the High Springs Women's Club and all the members who lovingly serve our community. I'm going to read a list of some of the stuff that they've done in this community. 7 members volunteer weekly at the High Springs Library. They hosted the Heal the Vets Luncheon for 50 veterans and their families. They hosted the Aging Brain for the library at the clubhouse. In our High Springs Community School, many of the members are mentors, some are classroom assistants. They always donate school supplies, paper, underwear, and socks for the small children. They planted a butterfly garden over there. They served breakfast goodies to the teachers for Teachers Appreciation Day. They are involved in the High Springs Playhouse. They place flags on the graves for Memorial Day at the High Springs and the Pine Hill cemeteries. They've honored the Civil War vets at those cemeteries. They have filled goodie bags for veterans residing at Fisher House and been involved with the wreaths across America, placing wreaths on veterans' graves. They recently donated 650 books to 3 area daycare centers. They make nap blankets. They donated playground toys for the Martin Luther King Daycare Center, and they donated items and funds for the Douglas Neighborhood Easter egg hunt. They're involved with the National Night Out by providing games and prizes for the children. They presented gift baskets to High Springs Police Department, High Springs Fire Department, EMS Station 20, and the Fort White Sheriff and Fire Departments, and included cards that were signed by the National Night Out. They donated trauma kits to the High Springs Police Department. They donate blankets for the homeless. They adopt families from the Angel Tree. They donate trees on Arbor Day. They host Chamber of Commerce meetings. They work with the Military Support Group of Alachua County by collecting items to send to servicemen and women stationed overseas. Members clean up the area parks in their Pick Up the Parks program. They do a blessing of the pets. Every year they do the candidates forum for our election. They hosted a CPR class for the community. They paint the town with pinwheels, raising awareness for child abuse. They hosted a concert for folks in the Springs. They host the High Springs Christmas party. They are involved with the Relay for Life and raise money for that. They sponsor a Santa Fe student to go to the Hugh O'Brien Foundation every year. 6 members are guardian ad litems to represent children going through the court system. They collect supplies for local animal shelters. They cook and serve dinners to the cancer patients receiving treatment at local hospitals through Hope Lodge. They donated funds to Ronald McDonald House to replace refrigerators in patients' rooms, as well as donating games, toys, snacks, funds to help defray the costs that guests cannot pay. They have helped Partnership for Strong Families. They help Peaceful Paths, collecting school supplies for children in foster care. They help the Hacienda Girls Ranch by donating funds for the girls to use that the Children and Families Department does not cover. They're involved with VSA, which is an international organization on arts and disability. They support Operation Smile, Heifer International, Canine Companion, United Nation Foundation, St. Jude's Research Hospital, UNICEF. That is an awful lot of stuff that these ladies are doing for our community. I was blown away. Please keep doing. I just am so, I've always been impressed with you, but I'm so impressed with all the service you lovingly give our community, and we appreciate you. Another one. Come on. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you never know what he's going to use. So. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this. Our members will be so excited to receive this, especially from the leaders of our city. This means so much to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Moving on here, Mr. Walker, we have a proclamation.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is a proclamation of the City of High Springs, State of Florida. Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives. And whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets and highways, public buildings, and solid waste collection. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency and quality and qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, our mayor, Scott Jamieson, of the City of High Springs, hereby proclaims the week of May 20th through the 26th, 2018, as National Public Works Week in the City of High Springs, and calls upon all of our citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. In witness whereof, our mayor has hereto set his hand and caused to be affixed the official seal of the City of High Springs, Florida, this 24th day of May, AD 2018, signature for Scott Jamieson, our mayor, and attested by Jenny L. Parham, our city clerk. The appropriate motion is to pass the proclamation as read by its entirety.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Any comments?
No, we bought the people from Public Works on Wednesday pizzas to show our appreciation from the city. Now it comes from the council. We really do, and there's only a few of them, and they do a tremendous amount of work.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. So you'll make sure that the proclamation, they see it and...
Oh, I certainly will post it.
And circulate?
Yes.
You circulate it around? Okay. Appreciate it. At this point in time, citizens requesting comments for issues not on the agenda. We don't have to approve a proclamation, do we? No, I didn't think so. Please come forward, state your name, and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Elaine Gabranson. First of all, I wanted to say that I love this High Springs Fire Department. However, I did read an article in the Alachua Today, that I have a question about. I don't know if I'll get an answer tonight, but I read that we are going to have an increase in the annual fee that the city residents pay because there's been an increased activity in emergency calls for the High Springs area. Now, here's my question. I would like to know how many of those calls are outside the city of High Springs. Do we have an increase in the calls because there's more activity, more calls, more need outside the city than there is in? I don't think the city has grown that much. I've been here 19 years, and I don't think the city itself has expanded that much. But I'm wondering if we've had an increase in the number of calls from the outside of the city. And if so, shouldn't those out of calls be assessed also, so that the city residents are not bearing the entire burden of the assessment fee.
You want me to answer?
If you want to, or I can, either way.
Sure. The county pays for our contribution to go outside the city, and they pay probably $175,000 now, and that will certainly go up. The reason that we're really increasing the amount of money that we're charging for the fire assessment is that we want to go to ALS. That's Advanced Life Saving. And so we have grown. We've grown over 1,000 people in the last 5 years. And that has to do with the subdivisions that have grown in that. Most of our calls, in fact, 98% of the calls are with the life-saving needs. Right now, the fire department can only go out there and hold your hand and say that the ambulance is coming. When they get the ALS certification, they can give medicines, they can monitor the heart, they can give oxygen, whatever is needed, and possibly the ambulance isn't needed. They can give the Narcan shots for those that are having overdoses. And so we are having a workshop on the 31st.
Yes.
And I'll have all the people from the fire department here, and they'll answer all those questions in detail. But basically, we're wanting to increase the service we provide from the fire department. And in doing so, of course, we have to have all full-time people, and they have to be ALS qualified.
Well, thank you. I'm still not quite sure, though. I would like to know the number of calls that are being
right, and they can
serviced
give you exactly,
from out of the area.
I know right now at least 60% is in town, and the others are out of town. Mm-hmm. We are going to stop servicing Columbia County and Gilchrist and only focus in on our town and that portion of the county that we have a fire district.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi. Thank you.
Good evening. Take just a minute. I wanted to officially introduce myself. I'm Mark Van from Lake City. We own Brown Van Flooring. My daddy started it downtown 1947, actually. Of course, worked all over North Florida for years and years. My brother and I own it now. But I am actually running for state representative. I wanted to come officially introduce myself to y'all. Look forward to meeting you on an individual basis. But 3 of our sons have come home now and gone to work with our company there in town, and it's freeing up some time for me. And so consequently, obviously High Springs is part of this district. Columbia, Baker, Suwannee, Hamilton counties, and from here over almost to Worthington, but this whole stretch along the river. So I just want to come over and introduce myself. I've been a part of our community there in North Florida, my whole life. Got my Eagle badge camping and riding these rivers and swimming 45 years ago. It's kind of hard to think about it's been that long. But again, at the age that our boys are doing the work, I am looking to run for this office, run for the seat. Representative Porter, who has been our representative for 8 years, is termed out, and she has officially endorsed me to run for the office. But anyway, y'all can reach me at, like I say, at Van Carpet One, which is, we've been Brown Van forever. Would love to talk to you if you have any issues or things, and look forward to meeting y'all. So I just wanted to, like I say, come introduce myself and appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public comments. At this point in time, we'll go into new business. Number 1 was taken off, so we'll go to number 2. Consider awarding bids for the Phase A1 wastewater project. Mr. Booth?
I have somebody from Midtower here. They're going to be here to answer all questions. This was the $3.5 million project. Came in well under the amount that was awarded to us, and we're ready to rock and roll on that project now.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Greg Lang with Midtower and Associates Consulting Engineers. So this was applied for, I think, about 2 years ago and was awarded last year. The city was offered a contract, and this is a 100% grant from Department of Environmental Protection under the new program that we refer to as the Springs program. And you'll remember back around 2014-15, there was a constitutional amendment passed in Florida that set up a trust fund where a certain portion, 33% of your documentary stamps from your real estate transactions go into this trust fund, and then that's used to conserve land and water resources and to build projects like this, getting septics offline, connected to central sewer, and that's what this project is. So it was advertised for bid for 30 days. We received some qualified bids. We reviewed those bids, and before you tonight is our recommendation that the award go to CIC Contractors, which stands for Commercial Industrial Corporation. They're located in Ocala. A total bid amount of $1,917,546.02. And as Mr. City Manager said, this is substantially under budget, fortunately. We're always concerned when we build a budget years before their bids are opening, especially now in an environment of pricing going up. So we're, of course, very confident this can be built, and we expect that there'll still be some money left over in which we hope to come back to the city to talk about how possibly we should approach DEP to see how that could be tasked for some of your other needs, such as expansion of your wastewater treatment facility, or as otherwise you all see fit. But that's a discussion we'd like to start having this summer while the construction's going on. The next steps, if you approve this, is we will review the contract. We get back from the contractor. It's a specific contract that we're offering him that's satisfactory to the city, and he has to produce bonds. And then we'll have a pre-construction conference where we'll talk about all the requirements of the project, the staging area, and how we'll approach homeowners and let them know ahead of time of what's going on and so forth, its schedule. And then it's possible that you could see the construction begin as early as 1 to 2 months from now. But that depends on how fast bonds and contracts are executed, and also we not sure how long the contractor will take to what we call mobilize, and that's to get his equipment and his manpower to the city. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions? Just one, and this one here, obviously quite a bit less.
Yes, sir.
You've had experience, and you've worked with this company, so I mean, that's, what experience have you had with this CIC? You've worked with them?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, yes, we have. They were the low bid on a couple recent projects. The most recent one, I believe, was in the city of Fanning Springs, and it was just this type of project, a septic to sewer conversion. They performed well. They are very well qualified. They had good quality equipment and good crews. So, and of course, we check their references, and we have some personal experience with them. So they are what we call the most responsible low bidder, and we're confident they can produce this project. And they met the specifications in our detailed specifications that we issued them.
Okay, just want to clarify. Thank you. Anything else? Do I have a motion to award the bid?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion for us to award the bid to the recommended contractor, Commercial Industrial Corporation.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any other comments? None. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Awarded. Rock and roll, man.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Let's go. That's great news. That's one more step. Thank you. We're getting closer.
That would be terrific. We can get that started in the next 2 or 3 months.
We're getting closer.
Yeah.
Item number 3, consider approval of $34,800 additional payment to Florida Fill and Grade for septic tank abatement. Mr. Booth?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. The council accepted the bid for $184,800. The grant we had that came in at $150,000, and that left a difference of $37,000. Because the council accepted the bid, we probably could have just gone ahead and paid it, but we want to do that one more step to be totally open to the public. And so we're bringing it back to you to make the payment of $37,000. And that all comes out of impact fees that this project will pay for.
$34,800.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. How many sewers did this do? How many?
It took care of 12 grinder pumps.
Okay.
It was also part of the project with the Camp Kalakwa in bringing that sewer down.
But this was the grinder pumps that had been missed, right? These
That's
were the
right.
the infill ones that
Right.
hadn't been picked up. Okay.
Especially in River Glen.
Okay.
So about $3,000 a grinder pump is what it cost us for the $3,400. About $3,000 what it cost us our pay to get them in.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point in time, we would need an approval to allocate the $34,800 payment.
I make a motion that we approve the $34,800 additional payment to Florida Fill and Grade for septic tank abatement.
A second.
I've got a first and a second to approve the money to Florida Fill and Grade. Any comments? In the audience? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. It sounds like a broken record, but we're getting closer. So, I'm going to keep hammering it. We're getting closer. Item number 4, discussion on developing a policy or process for acknowledging citizens' accomplishments and contributions to the city. I asked for that to be put on, to have a discussion. I think what's happened is exceptional. I think the way the thing has worked out is nothing but positive. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm just asking. We don't anything else. This is solely a discussion. Do we want to try to formalize? Do we want to have a specific date? Do we want to have any type of deals, or do we want to leave it as it is, type of deal? That's all. Just a discussion. If everybody's happy with the way it's going on, we can let it go. If you'd like to more formalize it to where there's criteria, or do we want to leave it solely up to each individual commissioner to make their own criteria? I'm open. I just want to make sure we have the discussion. So it's up to you. Comments from you all.
Well, I'm concerned.
You're good.
I'm concerned that if we start this process, we don't want to leave somebody out and hurt their feelings. And if we do this monthly or whatever, it takes a time on somebody's part. Nancy's done a good job of recognizing some people, and they deservedly so. I'm just concerned about causing hurt feelings within the city of High Springs.
Okay.
In past, commissioners says are retired, sometimes retired for 50 years. A lot of times we would just ask for a proclamation to give to that person. So I kind of think it's kind of, when you send a procedure, so if somebody, I don't know.
Well, procedure may have been the wrong word. I mean, I don't know. Do we want to set something up so it's quarterly for it's monthly, or do we want to leave it the way it is? I'm not advocating either way. I think if we're going to honor, I'm just thinking there should be some sort of process somehow. That's me. But if no, then if we're fine with the way it is, it's great. It's been a wonderful deal. The people have truly, truly appreciated what has been done. I just want to make sure that we're okay, and if that's the way it is, I have no issue with it. I just want to make sure that something doesn't come back at us, that we're okay with it. And if everybody's okay with...
So I'd like to say that the reason that when I was running, one of the things that I felt like was that there was a bit of a disconnect between the citizens and the commission, And reaching out and acknowledging people's accomplishments or contributions is a good way to connect back to the people that we serve, because that's what we do. We serve them. And we are so very blessed in this community with the number of people. It is phenomenal that contribute quietly all the time. And to take 5 or 10 minutes out of our commission agenda to recognize that is not something that I think is burdensome. So that's the reason that, I tend to look for the good. You ask Katie. I told her if she wanted somebody to complain to, not to come to her mother, because I look for the good. That's what I do.
Well, let me just say this on this one. I don't want anybody perceiving that what I asked in this thing, that this is burdensome or so forth. That's not the reason this was brought up. If we're okay with it, that's fine. I'm not asking. I just want to make sure if we wanted to make it monthly, quarterly, or leave it up to the whim of the council, that's fine. Leave it as it is. I have no issue, because it's a wonderful deal. So if we're fine with the way it is, we can end the discussion and go from there, because I think acknowledging people is great. I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page as what was going on.
I agree with Commissioner Lavin that it's an excellent idea, and I actually enjoy it. But I agree with you also, it would be better to set some kind of guidelines for it, because I have also had feedback from citizens that says, well, I contributed a lot too. Why did they get chosen and that I don't? So if we have something, a policy that we can go by, so the citizens will understand that we only do it so often, and it would help them understand.
But what would the criteria be, though?
Or each commissioner once a month or something can pick somebody that they feel represents the city well, or that they would like to congratulate them on their contributions to the city, acknowledge them. That would be fun. I just had some feedback.
I guess maybe I see it a little bit different. I sort of like it the way it is. That is, if you know of someone that you feel is deserving and you want to go out and do the work for it, please, by all means, go out there and do it. But I don't want you to get into the habit of doing it because the day is the 15th and we need to pick somebody because it's the 15th. So it's a little bit different the way I see it.
No,
so I sort of prefer it the way it is.
Okay. Anybody else?
I guess we can say, I don't know, what we can, how would you reward someone? Would it be with a proclamation, or would it be with a reward or certificate? So, yeah. I mean, it's just it's so broad. It's so broad. It's just, and then, if I did it for John Brown, and then Sally Brown said, well, you did it for brother, so I don't get more for the city than, I don't know, it's just so broad. It's just,
that's my concern.
Yeah, so, and then how will we know who to recognize, it is save a life. They've been a teacher in the area for 50 years. How would you?
I'm going to probably contradict myself, and I guess I would say on this one here, I think there probably ought to be some process, but I think on this one here is we were elected for a reason. People hopefully trust our judgment. And so therefore, if you try to identify who should be, well, if you're going to trust me to do a $4 million budget, I guess you should probably trust me to acknowledge a citizen. So I know that seems sort of simple, but I have no issue with allowing commissioners the opportunity to do that. I just think from a process type of deal or so forth, I think there should be something instead of not, I mean, you could go 3 weeks and then not do it for another 3 months type of deal. If that's the way it is, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not advocating on the deal. I think it's a very worthwhile project. If we want to leave it as it is, see how this thing goes, see how it flies for a while, that's fine. And just let it play and see. I mean, it's been a wonderful deal. The reactions from the people, the 2 individuals and so forth, it's been tremendous. So that's not the issue. If we just want to let it go, see how it goes, then that's fine. I don't want to make more than what it is. Is that pretty much? All right, well, then let's kill this thing. Why did I put it on here? No, I'm just joking. No, we're good.
The budget is $8 million. It's not just.
Yeah, I know. But if you said $8 million, they're going to wonder where the heck their money's going. I know. No, believe me, I know. I just didn't want them thinking, my God, we've inflated twice since I've been on here or whatever.
But let me say this. We do say we want to recognize someone, naming the street after them. We do have a process.
That's different.
For stuff like that. We do have a process.
That's different. This would simply be a proclamation. This would be like what we've done. It's not like the street. There's a specific process.
Right.
Yes.
Or anything like if you were going to put a sign up, a building or so forth. That's not. Right. That would take a board vote.
Right. So
that's a different deal.
Okay. So.
Well, let's leave it as is, and let's just see how it goes. Like I said, the reactions have been tremendous.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful thing. So we'll leave it as is. We'll see how it plays out, and then obviously the other commissioners have the same opportunity to do what Commissioner Lavin's done.
Exactly.
And
okay.
Like I say, a lot of times families would call me. Like the last one I did was a pastor for I want to say 60 years. We did a proclamation at his retirement. And
perfect.
And the family was happy. He was happy.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it as it is then, and take it from there. I think it's been wonderful.
Just don't forget me one day.
Your name?
Dwayne Williams.
We'll wear you up there.
Don't get the Dwayne part.
Yeah, you killed me on that one. All right. I appreciate it, and I thank you guys' consideration. Like I said, it's been a wonderful deal. To see the reactions on the people's faces has been priceless.
Yeah, that's
very good. Greatly appreciated. At this point in time, any other comments? Anybody want to say anything? We'll move on to the next item. Consider appointing a member to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Mr. Booth?
Yes, we had a opening in the Recreation Board. Christina was second, and she was now moved up to the primary board.
Will we advertise for more alternates?
We will.
And Christina did the Springs? Is that,
she did.
That was on who did Springs?
Christina Young.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So
you just need
a motion to appoint her, and then a second?
Okay. I make a motion that Christina Young be appointed to the board, Parks and Recreation Board.
Second.
I've got a first and a second. Christina Young to Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Any other comments? Audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none is passed. Next item on the agenda is review of the March 2018 financial statements. Jennifer, I'm assuming, are you doing that, or Mr. Booth?
I'll probably do it. This is an $8 million budget.
You sure? Are you sure?
The numbers. And in looking over this, our revenues are coming in as expected. Our expenditures, we're keeping them down. We're doing a good job. I mean, this is a good budget.
Good news, good news.
Good news.
Good
That's
news.
right.
One thing, the highlighted blue, these are all state revenues. I just wanted to point out there's a lag time on them. So this is not a full 6 months. This is only 5 months. And that's why it looks a little low. And I will continue to point that out. And of course it does catch up at year end.
Right.
Right.
In July, we'll do a budget amendment. We've had some requirements come down, such as radios. This is no money, you just have to buy them because they're changing channels. And so we'll have to buy those as everybody in the state will, and we'll adjust the budget in June. And there may be a few other things that we may buy this year instead of buying next year.
Okay. We'll get to that a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Any questions?
Looks good.
Okay. At this point in time, city attorney report, Ms. Walker?
Mr. Mayor?
The attorney's not talking.
That's right. Saving you money. Everybody the word.
You'll refund. Mr. Booth?
Yeah, we're ready for the rain to stop. The potholes out there are growing like mushrooms.
That's right.
You know, but we have to get the water out of them. I mean, I can't fix them until they dry up a little bit. So I'm watching them and I'm bouncing around. But we're in the process of union negotiation. We had a meeting. We were posting that. We had a meeting at 4:00. They are going very well. This is with the PBA. And so we're in the process of budget prep, and in the next few weeks, each director will come with myself and Jennifer and present what they want. But we're going to be extremely frugal with capital investment so that we can afford the Evergreen study. And it looks like it's going to work out just fine. It's also works into the preparations for the union negotiation. And we'll present the budget sometime in mid-July. I want to remind everybody the 31st we're having a workshop both on ALS and also about the Douglas Village area. And I'm in the process of relearning how to walk. If I could have done that the first place, I wouldn't have had this problem. So all the good things are negated by one, oh, shucks.
Did it?
Yep.
Nancy?
I wanted to remind next week the county tourism manager is coming out to meet with us Wednesday, May 30th at 11 at the Old School Community Center. Mr. Booth, I haven't had a chance to tell you this, but I talked to Mr. Younts at Camp Kalakwa. He's going to send someone over. The lady who was the family that owned Blue Springs, she's going to come and talk about how many people come through. The Springs Institute people are coming. So I've got some other people that are come so we can show them how much tourism we actually draw out here. And then Christine will be there, and hopefully they can help us with some of the marketing that we need to do. At the Little Veterans Memorial, the High Springs Lions Club and the military vets repaired the bench. It had been broken and got it all cleaned up. And at 10 o'clock Monday, they're going to have a rededication ceremony. At 7:30, there will be a little ceremony out there as well. Mr. Barnes explained to me, and I didn't know this until I talked to him, the flags are supposed to go half-mast at sunrise until noon on Memorial Day. And I looked that up, and that's accurate. So how do we do that with the city buildings when we're closed?
Yeah, the fire department.
Okay, so that's all I have is those items on Memorial Day over here at Veterans.
Okay. Lori? No. Byron? Lynn? No, I'm good. I'm pleased once again just to see the projects going and nice to see people here. And with nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Adjourn.
That went quicker than I thought it was going to go.